Today we have another Khan Academy tutorial, this time on evaluate functions from their graph. Let's go ahead and get started. We have k parentheses -1. What does that mean? Well, k is referring to this graph, k, right here. Now, what we have to do here is, what does this -1 mean? Well, this is the value of x. Okay, so we have our x-axis and we have our y-axis. Well, I'm not even going to bother with the y-axis because we're only concerned about the x. When we're talking about evaluating functions, we're talking about the x values, left and right. So if we're looking for -1, we want to know what the value is. What is the value of the graph at x equals -1? That's what this means. Okay, so in a lot of ways, I know I keep saying k, but anyway, in a lot of ways, this is a very simple way of expressing something that's a little bit more complex. Like a lot of words, what is the value of the graph at x equals -1 instead of k of -1? That's a lot easier to say, so that's why they have certain designations. Now, the first thing we got to do is we have to find -1 on the x value, and that is there. So there is -1. That's what we're looking for. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, -1's at 0. No. What we're doing is we're looking for the graph. Where is the blue line here? So we have to travel up to see where is the blue line at this value. So we're going to make a point here. I'm going to make it in purple. And that is the point -1, 7. Notice how this -1 is what we're looking for our x. That's what we're evaluating for x. Now, what we want to find out is we want to find out what is the y value, and that's going to be our answer. So when we plugged in -1 into our graph, into our k function, what did we get for the y value? We got 7. That's where the graph is, -1, 7. That's what it's asking for. So we're going to plug in 7. All right, next question. H of -5. Well, I bet you think that this is h, and it is. This is our h graph. Now we want to know, okay, for this graph, if we go over to x equals -5, that's what this means. What is the value of y? Where is the graph vertically or horizontal, or excuse me, up or down, vertically? So we're going to go over to -5 on the x-axis, right here, boom. Obviously, we're not going to go up because there's nothing up, but there's something down. So we're just going to try to find the graph wherever it is. We get to a point. That point, of course, is going to have -5 for the x. What's the y value going to be? Well, the y value here is -2. So as we evaluate this graph at x equals -5, h of -5, we're going to get -2. That's where the graph is. 2 more to go. G of -4. Okay, same deal here. We have our g graph. We're going to look for the value at -4. That's for our x value. We go over to -4, and we look at the corresponding y value. So we see the y value is at 1. This is the point -4, 1. So we're going to plug in 1 for y, and we get our answer. Lastly, here's our f graph, f of 1. We're looking for the value of x, the value of y when x equals 1. There's x equals 1. Our point here is at 1, 1. So it's for, as we plug in 1 for x, we get 1 for y. That's what it's looking for. 1. Check it out. You can hear the closing music. And we are set. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. See you next time on Wes Explains Best.